On CBS 12 News this morning at 6, protests outside the Supreme Court after a bombshell report showing Supreme Court justices have voted to overturn Roe v. Wade.
What this could mean for several states with existing abortion bans.
Plus, reaction pouring in at this hour from that report. Ahead, what Florida lawmakers from both sides of the aisle are saying this morning.
And it's a dry sky out there to start, but we could see some storms later today. I'll time them out for you.
It's a new day. This is CBS 12 News This Morning.
Busy morning today. Thanks for starting your Tuesday with us. I'm Matt Lincoln.
And I'm Sam Kerrigan. It is going to be a hot and humid Tuesday as you take a live look here in downtown West Palm Beach. Looking pretty beautiful at this hour. We do want to check in with meteorologist Lauren Oleski, see if there's any chance for storms later today, Lauren.
Always is, right? It's also always hot and humid. We are dry right now. We had a few showers move along the coastline earlier this morning. I want to jump into the hour by hour, though. We've been showing this a few times this morning. We're going to show it again. Rain along the coastline is possible, but this afternoon, most of that's going to push inland, and that's where the strongest activity will be. This is 5:15 later today. A little stormy out near Lake Okeechobee. Clouds and a few showers likely lingering overnight. This is 4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. We could see some showers up and down the immediate coastline again. I might have to track some rain to start off your Wednesday. You're 81 degrees in Jupiter at 11, but it's going to feel like 85, about 82 at 1, feeling like 86 with the humidity out there for the day today. Of course, feeling much warmer. Our high temperatures are in the mid-80s this afternoon. Matt, Sam.
All right, Lauren, thank you. At 6:01 now, we are taking a look at that drive for you, West Palm Beach to Jupiter on the Turnpike. It is a quick 15-minute drive for you this morning. No issues to worry about as you head out the door.
Live look now at the nation's capital. A Supreme Court draft opinion obtained by Politico shows the panel's conservative majority is ready to overturn nearly 50 years of established abortion rights precedent set by Roe v. Wade.
And you are looking at a brand new video here from outside the Supreme Court where there are already barricades up this morning. Dozens of people gathered outside to protest overnight. You can see them right there holding signs and chanting.
So the document is marked first draft, dated February 20th, 2 months after oral arguments were heard in the case which involves Mississippi's ban on abortions after 15 weeks of pregnancy.
Justice Samuel Alito, the opinion's apparent author, wrote, quote, Roe was egregiously wrong from the start.
And the leak itself, it's a breach of Supreme Court protocol and tradition. Never before has a draft opinion been leaked to the public like this.
Well, we have live team coverage for you this morning. CBS 12's Terry Hornstein is tracking responses coming in from Florida lawmakers.
But we want to begin here with CBS 12's Jay O'Brien at the live desk to unpack this draft opinion and specifically what this means for states with existing abortion bans. Jay?
Yeah, good morning, Matt, Sam. This is uncharted territory as we all wake up this morning. All of this is changing still by the moment, but the Supreme Court appears to be on the verge of overturning Roe v. Wade. All of it starting with Politico, which obtained a draft copy of this opinion from Justice Samuel Alito. In it, he writes that a majority of justices on that high court agree that Roe versus Wade should be overturned. That would upend decades of law in this country and women's health care as we know it. In this scathing opinion, Alito writes that the court should have never established a right to abortion when it ruled in Roe v. Wade back in 1973. And instead, he says that power should have been left to lawmakers in Congress or in state legislatures. Alito says that the Roe versus Wade decision was, quote, short-circuiting the democratic process, adding the decision was, quote, egregious and damaging. Now, this opinion, this leaked opinion, it is not final. It's a draft, and the court hasn't released the final opinion in this case. That could take weeks. All of this case, by the way, ties back to a lawsuit over Mississippi's restrictive abortion law. But if this opinion stays like this, if it becomes final and it overturns Roe, it will have a cascading impact nationwide, particularly if you live in any of these states. These states marked in deep red here, they have what are called trigger bans. Those are laws that were written ahead of time, ready to go, and they will automatically ban practically all abortions in those states the minute Roe is overturned by the Supreme Court. And these states that are marked marked in a lighter red, they have existing abortion bans that were already on the books. They were written before Roe was decided in 1973, and those bans in those states will also snap back into place if the High Court overturns Roe. So a lot of eyes are on what the Supreme Court is going to do now. Matt and Sam, there is one more thing that we should point out for you guys, which is that we said that this is all tied to that Mississippi abortion law. Mississippi's law looks exactly like Florida's new abortion law.
Well, on that map, we saw that Florida was in gray. So what happens if Roe v. Wade gets overturned? What immediately happens in our state?
So if Roe gets overturned, all of it reverts back to state law. So whatever the state has on the books regarding abortion, that becomes the law, and abortion rights follow from that, right? In Florida, we do not have a trigger ban. You do have abortion rights in Florida, but they are all based on that new law. You have that 15-week abortion ban that the state legislature just passed. The governor just signed it. That would become the prevailing law of the land in Florida. So you would have a right to an abortion in Florida if the Supreme Court overturns Roe, but you would have that right up until that 15-week cutoff, guys.
And there is a lot of Florida lawmakers reacting to this news this morning. That's where Terry Hornstein picks up our live team coverage for us this morning. Good morning, Terry.
Hey, good morning. Florida lawmakers on both sides of the aisle really responding to the leak this morning and what this could mean for our state and our country. So let's take a look. We want to start with State Senator Tina Polsky. Now, if we take a look at what she had to say about this, she says this is why elections matter. She said the judges set us back 50 years and said Republicans, she says, will destroy the country. Now, if we look at Senator Marco Rubio has a very different opinion. He blames Democrats for leaking this opinion, calling it an attempt to intimidate the justices. And this is very similar to what Rick Scott had to say on Twitter as well. We mentioned him in the last hour. He also blames Democrats for the leak. And U.S. Representative Val Demings, well, she's a Democrat who covers parts of Orlando. She wrote, "The attack on women's rights is stronger than ever." She went on to say the House has already passed legislation to make Roe a federal law. And then she goes on to say it's up to the Senate to act to protect women's rights. Today, many more politicians across the country sure to weigh in on this extremely controversial issue.
And CBS 12 News will continue to stay on top of this story. You can get the latest developments sent right to your phone by downloading our free CBS 12 News app.
Well, 6:07 now, and this morning, yet another delay in the sentencing trial of the Parkland school shooter. The judge delayed jury selection for at least a week because the defense attorney is sick. This comes as potential jurors were called back after the judge reversed her decision to restart the trial last week. The goal is to find 20 jurors. That includes 12 to make the decision and 8 alternates. Those jurors will recommend to the judge if Nikolas Cruz should get the death penalty or life in prison. Cruz pleaded guilty last year to killing 17 people at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018.
6:07 is the time. This morning, police need your help looking for the suspects they say stole a woman's purse at the Town Center Mall at Boca Raton. They say someone jumped out of a car outside the Saks Fifth Avenue parking lot, yanked the purse off her shoulder, and knocked her to the ground. Police say the suspects got away with her belongings in what's described as an older model black Nissan Maxima. If you have any information, call police.
Well, this morning we are learning another man has died after trying to beat a Brightline train. This time it happened in Pompano Beach. Brightline says the gates were down when the driver went around them yesterday morning. Brightline trains have been involved in dozens of deadly crashes since they began running 5 years ago. But most of those deaths are people either trying to beat the trains or walking on the tracks.
6:08 now, and this morning lawmakers in Central Florida are asking the governor for more details about his plan to dissolve Disney's special government. He signed legislation last month to get rid of the Reedy Creek Improvement District after Disney criticized the parental rights and education law. Now, there hasn't been much information about what happens to Reedy Creek's debt and whether it will fall back on the taxpayers. Lawmakers in Orlando say the governor could decide to establish a brand new state-run district, which he would control, but the governor's office has yet to say if he is, in fact, considering forming a new special district. 6:09 is the time. The Fed is getting ready to hike interest rates to get inflation under control. Coming up, how this new move will make it tougher for anyone looking to borrow money.
And when the Miami Heat needed a hero, they knew who to go to. We'll show you how the star of Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals came off the bench to light Philly on fire.
And I'm meteorologist Zach Covey. Hurricane Preparedness Week rolling on at CBS 12 News. Today we're talking about creating your hurricane kit. We're going to go through my personal kit, highlighting my go-to items, plus the 2 items that I say you need to leave out of your kit when making it. That's next.